I'm Richard Bateson from Camelot Global. I'm the commercial director looking after sales and marketing in all of the operations that Camelot has outside of the UK.
Excellent. And what do you think is the most exciting thing in marketing?
Well, we're going to be very careful here because coming from the lottery, I can get very lottery specific. But I think new technology is really helping marketeers know their player or the consumer. We call them players in lottery, but knowing the consumer a lot better. Therefore, you can start to personalise your offer. You can really start to look at new ways in which you can start interacting with the consumer. I know that's quite sort of generic, but when you start getting into the detail of it, I think it is quite an important tool for marketers to start to use. You become more specific, whether it's segmenting your player base or consumer, so I keep on saying player, but that's just the industry I'm in, all the way through to how you can then sort of use better sort of marketing targeting methods. What I mean by that is, you know, use of media all the way through. So I think the mobile phone's got a lot to play with that. And actually, interestingly enough, in some of the markets we look at in North America, the use of cell phones and actually how you can sort of get down the hierarchy of awareness, consideration, consumption, how the consideration piece and how you can start pushing people to do things with the mobile phone, I think is really exciting. So new tech's the thing which is really getting me going as a marketeer, and how we can start to use that to start to help aid behaviour or start pushing players. And again, to go back into the lottery, many people are lottery players, but every now and then they just need a little nudge. So things like mobile help that nudge to get people to play or consider playing Lotto or Euro Millions. So mobile and new tech would be the big thing for me, as I think it always is, because it's the big enabler for what we need to do. I think mobile's got an important role to play for all marketers. Being very specific to my industry, I see it really helping consideration. One of the biggest challenges we have is activating our players to play when big jackpots, for example, are in market, and being able to ping messages, particularly when you walk past one of our stores or one of our posters, I believe is a tactical medium for us that we will need to exploit over the coming years. So NFC all the way through to being able to use the mobile for whether it's e-coupons at that stage or just notifying of a critical message will help consideration that will then lead to consumption. So I see mobile being a really important medium for us.
What did you think about the standards of the awards this year? The
standard this year I think is great. This is my second time we're doing drum, and I think the two things to take out to me. The first is the standard from the entrance. Last year I thought was good, this year I think is great, and the effort they put in I think is fantastic. And the second thing for me is quality of work, and I know marketing and advertising, it evolves sort of year on year and you have to become more innovative, but there are quite a few, I say quite a few standouts, it's almost an oxymoron, but there are quite a few that I hadn't seen and before coming to the awards and have reflected upon and think is great work, and then there are one or two entrants where you just think that that work is something I'll be proud of. So I think for the biggest accolade you can give to someone is I wish that was my piece of work, and there are a few of those there this year. I think awards are important for agencies and clients to enter into awards because I think it's a good way of showcasing work. So as a marketer, I'm sitting here looking at work which I hadn't seen before. I think it's a really good showpiece for agencies. So I've seen one or two agencies that I hadn't considered in the past and I will consider now in the future. But I also think it's a great way of lauding good work. And I think that helps both the agency have an award and therefore so the fame that comes from that, as well as I think it's great for clients, and there's always a good event, isn't it, at the back end of these things. So that's the reason why I think awards are a good thing to be entering.